When last we spoke, you were hunting for followers of Elganan and Gillenane in hopes of finding specifics. Has your search been successful?
You could say that. It looks like both the Venatori and the Antam are working for Elganan and Gillenane.
Unsurprising. The Venatori want magical secrets, and the Antam want to destroy anyone opposing their brutal expansion. Both will readily bow to anyone who promises them power.
And now we've seen that power firsthand. The Antam and the Venatori both have dragons doing their bidding.
Dragons? That is worse than I had feared.
Yeah. We drove off the one the Venatori brought into Minrathous. Barely.
Have you determined how the dragons are being directed? If it is blood magic, it may be possible to disrupt their control.
The dragons were blighted. We think that's what let the gods control them.
The Blight. Of course.
The Blight seems to be the gods' favorite tool right now. We ran into Venatori who could control Darkspawn.
Elganan would not bestow such power unless the Darkspawn were to serve as the main force of his army. And I suspect Gillenane will see the Darkspawn as new subjects for her modifications.
We've already run into a few Darkspawn nobody has seen before. That's in addition to the blighted dragons.
That is the fate Elganan and Gillenane planned for this world then. Corruption and blighted slavery.
That's rage coming from the guy who wanted to drown the world in demons.
Do you truly believe my goal was to destroy this world?
I believe your goal, like you said, was to transfer the gods to a better prison. The one you're stuck in now. And you were willing to tear down the veil and destroy this world while you did so.
The veil is a wound I cut into the Fade in a moment of desperation, while making their prison. It should not exist. I had a host of spirits ready to help when the veil fell. They would have minimized the loss of life.
Do you have any idea what you sound like? You could have actually saved the world from the Blight, but instead you chose to kill thousands of people with your vanity project.
It is not vanity. I broke this world. I am the only one who can fix it.
Spoken like a god.
I am not a god. I am as I have always been. A man. All too aware of his failings. But equally aware that if he did not act, accepting the judgment it would bring, all would be lost. They call me the Dread Wolf. What will they call you when this is over?
I don't care what they call me. If they're calling me anything, it means they're still alive. That's all that matters.
Acceptance. You are willing to face the consequences your actions may one day bring because the world needs you. I believe I can work with that. If the gods are using dragons, you will wish to find someone trained to fight them. Have you unlocked the Lighthouse Illuvian?
Yes. We found the crossroads. It's still confusing, though.
I cannot help you from in here. You may need to find an expert in the magic of the Fade. And if the Darkspawn are to be Elganan's army, you will need Grey Wardens to fight them.
I've got a few of them, and I'm a warden myself. Maybe that's enough?
Doubtful. You will want an army. And I believe you will find a way to obtain one. You seem to have a knack for gaining the cooperation of your adversaries.
Solus thinks we need a dragon hunter and a Fade expert.
I wouldn't trust the Dreadwolf, but he's not wrong about us needing a dragon hunter. I've been a warden for a while. Seen some pretty awful things. But what the dragon did to Treviso? I'll never get that out of my head. Lucanus stayed. Said he'd be back soon, but at least you took care of yours.
We hurt it, but didn't kill it. The dragon flew off before we could put it down.
A dragon hunter would have helped him in Rathus, that's for sure.
Don't remind me. Fewer people injured, and we wouldn't have to worry about it coming back.
We can't forget the second dragon in Treviso. We should see how we can help, but we're without Lucanus until he's done helping the crows. Who knows how long?
Hey, let's not get stuck in our regrets, all right?
Just so we're clear, you're taking advice from this elven god, Solus. The Solus who tried to tear down the Veil? You really trust him?
Of course I don't trust him. He's the only option we have. If it makes you feel better, we've checked every piece of information he gave us.
That does make me feel better.
So a Fade expert and a dragon hunter. I'll ask around about dragon hunters and see what turns up. Come talk to me in a bit.
And I've been corresponding with someone about the lighthouse's reverberative oscillations and the resulting dimensional peculiarities. Oh, sorry. Not relevant. I'll get a message through to a Fade expert immediately.
See, Rook? Nothing to worry about.
All right. We all know what to do. Let's get going. Okay, Balara, what's your lead on getting us a Fade expert for the team?
Good evening.
Greetings.
Rook, so we need a Fade expert. I've been writing to a senior mage who fits the part. But right now he's on an expedition, so I reached out to his colleagues to find him. This is Lady Myrna and Vorgoth. They're necromancers. Mournwatch ones, I mean.
Your friend's request for a Fade expert was urgent. How darksome are things outside Navarra?
We've seen terrible magic. Old magic. It'll get worse unless we step up.
I see. Balara's correspondent is Professor Emmerich Volkarin, a Fade expert and powerful psychagogue.
You will need him.
Where can I find him?
The Professor is currently delving the shrouded halls in the Grand Necropolis. We will grant you passage to look for him. Where the dead. Lately they grow restless.
So I put the word out for dragon hunters, and I've heard back about someone who might work. It's a woman named Tosh from a group of Rivaini treasure hunters called the Lords of Fortune.
Sounds promising.
An agent for the Lords said that Tosh is working on a mission for them along the Rivain coast. If we help her, she'll be free to join us and fight any blighted dragons the gods throw our way.
What do you know about what's going on in Rivain right now?
Not much more than you do. Varric and I never went there while hunting Solus. The Kunari were on pretty good terms with Rivain, but that was before the Antam military broke away from the rest of the Qun. I wouldn't be surprised if the Antam invaded Rivain like they did Treviso and Eastern Tevinter.
All right. Guess we'll be ready. Thanks for finding a contact. There can't be that many professional dragon hunters around.
Time to find out if the crossroads can get us to an alluvion in that area. We'll head out whenever you're ready.
Offer, Dweller. I will answer.
this is it. But no sign of the professor.
I hope he's here and that he doesn't mind us disturbing him. He is a senior necromancer. I don't... Oh!
Visitors! What a marvelous surprise! Any trouble with the lift? Our last guests were stuck for hours. Poor souls. Oh. Professor Emmerich Volkaren of the Morn Watch.
Hello, Professor. We've never met, well, in person, but I've been writing to you.
Belara, my dear girl. What a pleasure. Surely you didn't come all this way just to see me.
Actually, we did. You see, we need a Fade expert.
I'm Rook.
Charmed.
I like that bit with the flaming skull.
It's nothing, really. Just an evocation of the flame of the last steps.
Looks great.
Thank you. You know, I'm never quite sure how these spells strike someone from outside Navarra. I'd be pleased to continue our conversation after I tend to some small business here. I must investigate. Would you two mind accompanying me further into the Shrouded Halls?
Toward that screaming.
Something's gone awry in this part of the necropolis, Rook. The dead stir more easily than they should.
Oh, wow. I've never seen anything like this. Something weird up ahead.
Strange. These halls should be under the protection of the bell.
Is that a despair demon?
Fascinating, isn't it? They shouldn't be able to breach the Shrouded Halls at all.
Take your word for it.
Careful, Rook. It singles you out.
What? Where'd everyone go?
It's vital we discover why that spirit manifested here.
Lead the way, Professor.
Someone's barred the door and chained the sunken star.
There's undead here.
We may need to defend ourselves, depending on their condition.
Haven't fought undead in a while.
No reaching these. They're mindless. I'm afraid sometimes the weaker dead work themselves into frenzies.
Ready here.
A solid hit. I must free that bell.
Need some help?
Thank you. The star, the bell, can banish these despair spirits if we unchain it. We'll need a wisp to unseal the doors leading out. Could you please find one and bring it here?
Okay. How?
Give your greetings, and the wisp will
Hello.
Wisps are the simplest of spirits, but quite helpful. Bring the wisp here, and we can unseal the doors.
Door's open. Where to now?
This should lead us to the upper chambers, where we can free the bell. There's someone I'd like to consult with on the way.
I hope we can help here, Professor.
You already have, Bellara, and it's just Emmerich. Please.
Great, Professor.
I assume your visit has to do with recent upheavals we've sensed in the Fae?
Oh, just a little.
It's a fight!
Finish them off. Ready for a pull.
I'm ready again! Finish them quickly!
magic. It drains everything around it.
Echoes of the despair spirits, misery devouring itself. We should keep our distance. If provoked, these manifestations will shatter.
This is locked too. I didn't see any wisps around.
Then I shall call for aid. They've answered. We'll need to guide the wisps who've just arrived to the door.
Those wisps really came just because you asked.
They care for us, Rook. Our ever-loyal friends amongst the dead.
Here's our second wisp.
These are way different than some of the wisps in Arlington.
I should like to meet some one day.
I don't know, Professor. Your wisps seem less, dangerous.
Strange. This door shouldn't be here.
Shouldn't it?
The necropolis rearranges itself every so often. past these chambers, we'll find some assistance with reaching the bell. Despair is far more pervasive than I'd thought. We must stop who's ever drawing these spirits here, Rook.
You think a person's behind all the despair demons?
Oh yes. Mortals are their prime attraction.
Trouble coming. Ranged incoming.
Attack from afar!
Good to go.
I'm not so ready!
Right out.
Well struck, Valara!
How do we get rid of all these despair demons?
Their source is near the bell you saw earlier. Ringing it will banish them, but we must find who lured them there in the first place. Tell me, Rook, where are you from?
I trained with the Wardens in the Anderfels.
Home to the fortress of Weishaupt. I've heard stories. You must tell me about your journeys once we're above ground. we are. This is where we'll learn who summoned these despair spirits.
But how?
You must open yourself to possibilities while in the necropolis. Would you mind lighting those braziers, Rook? This should unseal our final pass to the bell. It's best we unchain it quickly.
What's it do exactly?
The sunken star will drive away despair. Any malicious spirit that hears the tolling of the bell will be banished to the Fane.
Oh, that'd be helpful in Arlathan, but I bet it only works here, doesn't it?
Quite correct. The bell would be inert outside the necropolis.
Still, I bet the principles could be replicated.
Excellent. Approach the body and we'll begin. By seal and flame, who brought despair in our midst? Despair! Who brought it here?
Venatori.
The Venatori. Of course. This way, please.
What did you just do?
The colloquial term is corpse whispering, a gift that manifested with my magic.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Honestly, I've no idea how the other Watchers navigate the necropolis without it.
I think I hear someone.
This map is useless. We wasted 3 slaves in those traps. If that Hand of Glory burns down...
So don't dawdle!
We found those Venatori.
They have no place in these walls. Forster! This one's all set!
Nicely done!
after? Gold? Artifacts?
Raw magic. Their first envoys were obsessed with gathering power for some new masters.
Ah, I'll fill you in on them later. Down one more despair demon. That's the last of them.
I see someone by the crates.
I don't think they're Venatori. Interesting.
Spirit labyrinths? I didn't know they'd learn to make miniature ones in Tevinter.
What's this?
A vessel to store the magic the Venatori intended to siphon away from us.
Hello. The Venatori bring you here.
They said I'd spilled the wine too many times. That I'd be a better sacrifice than slave.
You are in Navarra, sir. There are no slaves on our soil. Please remain here. After we've seen to the rest of the Venatori, I'll send for someone to escort you above.
All right.
Those Venatori dragged that man down here just to die.
The Watchers will shelter him. We'll inquire if he has any family in Minrathous. As for the Venatori, what remains of them will be put to work. The Sunken Star can help us if we break the Venatori's chains.
Right. unchain.
Excellent.
Got it. Yes, for Lara.
That one ready.
Is everyone intact?
That's the last chain.
We must return to the lower level to ring the bell. Be ready. The ritual to wake the bell will draw Despair's attention.
And any more Venatori?
I'll need you to keep them occupied while I work.
There's the Venatori. How we doing, Everett?
The bell is slowly awakening. We must fight a little longer.
Venatori brought demons.
Typical of them. Excellent hit, Brooke. Halfway there. Hold fast.
Ready for
Now what?
Now, the Grand Necropolis shows itself.
Bear demons are just gone.
Pretty impressive.
Thank you, but come, let's ensure these cultists didn't leave anything dangerous behind. I'll ask our attendants to gather their bodies later, of course.
And this is a severed hand.
It can't be. A hand of glory? The Venatori should never have this. I must find out where it came from. Let me know when you'd like to return to the chambers above.
Let me take one last look around.
Shall we depart?
Let's get back to the lighthouse.
You can tell me why you've sought out a Fade expert on the way?
I know it's a lot, but I swear we've seen the Blighted Elven Gods ourselves.
It would explain recent Oniric disruptions.
At the least. The implications of what Rook's witnessed are... Ah, thank you, Manfred.
No one ever brings me tea after I slog through a haunted crypt.
My assistant, Manfred. Always thoughtful.
You spoke of danger to the Fade.
The Elven Gods plan to tear it wide open to get to the Blight. And they've already messed with it. Demons, tears in reality. Our team needs a Fade expert.
Many Watchers never depart Navara. But with events so dire...
I'd be delighted to assist.
It has been many years since you left us.
Well, yes, but elven gods, ancient magics. I couldn't bear miss this. Besides, I've spent my life exploring the Fade and speaking to spirits. If Rook needs an expert, none are better qualified than I.
You're good in a fight. We went through a lot of demons.
I've faced worse in the Necropolis.
Welcome aboard.
Wonderful! I'll gather my things. Come, Manfred.
The Grand Necropolis was at peace again, and Emmerich was off to a new adventure. But in Navara, nothing stays down for long. The Venatori had unearthed something no one should have, and delivered it to the worst possible person. Emmerich's journey would soon bring him face to face with the Gloaming Lantern.
Treviso's not ready.
Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition? What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter? Who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Or she would be, if there was still an Inquisition. I suppose she just works for the Inquisitor now?
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thedas from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
Why isn't she here? We could use a hand.
Charter entrusted the search for Solus to Varric, to us. The world's large, and she's got many things to deal with.
So how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
And the Inquisitor's advisors, what about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite. She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Val Royeaux every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Liliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
She loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So, did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy. 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The spirit boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my game.
Like a card game?
Nah, just good old people watching. Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. Or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
I have so many questions.
Believe me, I did too.
Cole didn't elaborate.
I think I prefer the mystery. Don't you?
Wasn't Cole an empath? He must have been great at this game.
Aha, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if you guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
So, tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hasrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
I'm sure those pastries were a great help.
My ma likes to say that sometimes the pie is for eating, and sometimes it's for crying into. Doesn't even need to be pie. Rector liked cake, and Faulkner loved soup. But food was always a comfort.
Rector? Faulkner?
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right, like Charter.
Well, Charter's Charter, but when the other 2 and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
It's hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solus. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
He might be lonely, but I doubt he cares. He's single-minded. Nothing else matters besides his crusade.
Because it's the only thing he's had. My ma used to say, a caged dog forgets there's grass outside. Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?
You're up late.
You're awake to notice.
Can't sleep. I know. I'm awake to ask.
I sleep when I can get it. And this place, it's too quiet for that.
Quiet's good. Quiet means Darkspawn haven't shown up. Well, they have, but they aren't currently trying to eat your liver. Okay, more works then. How do you sleep?
I don't know. Chase the right bastard through the wrong ritual? It'll knock you right out. Of course, you might wake up with a new accessory.
Well, that must have been something.
There was a bit more in the middle, but yeah.
And now?
It's not what keeps me up at night. It's not the quiet. I never could sleep once work gets in my head. But what's got you up at night?
When you're a warden, the Darkspawn song is part of you. It's in your head. Your dreams. Not all the time, but I was told full blights make it worse. I wasn't ready for how much.
No sweet dreams for heroes.
Not so much.
Restlessness catches. Get one person in a room nervous, the whole place twitches. One person can't sleep. It's only getting later. Get out while you can.
And if it's already too late?
Don't tell me you're a lost cause.
I might be.
I know the feeling.